Lucas Bennett was a quiet, thoughtful young man from Chicago, raised in a family that struggled to make ends meet. He had dreams bigger than his means, and a heart that longed for love he feared he would never fully claim. One rainy evening, while visiting a bookstore in Boston for a conference, he met Eliza Hartley, a graceful, intelligent woman from London, visiting the city for work. Their first conversation was about a rare book on poetry. Lucas admired her knowledge and the way her eyes lit up when she spoke. Eliza was intrigued by his passion, his sincerity, and the warmth beneath his quiet demeanor. They exchanged numbers, first texting casually, then messaging for hours, sharing thoughts, dreams, and personal stories. Despite living on opposite continents, their connection grew rapidly, bound by words, shared emotions, and a longing neither could ignore. Lucas wanted to see her again, to hold her hand, to feel the warmth of her presence. But reality was a cruel barrier. Flights were expensive, and Lucas's family could not afford such luxuries. Eliza, though from a comfortable family, had responsibilities that kept her tied to London. And yet, love blossomed in secrecy through their phones. Every message was a lifeline, every video call a brief escape from the harsh realities that kept them apart. They laughed, shared dreams, and imagined a life together that seemed impossible. But both knew that love, no matter how deep, could not always overcome the world's obstacles. Every connection brought both joy and ache, for what they yearned for most, togetherness, remained just out of reach. Weeks turned into months, and Lucas and Eliza's bond deepened, yet the reality of their lives remained a constant shadow over their hearts. Every conversation, every laugh shared across screens, carried with it the painful reminder that their worlds were too far apart. One late night, Eliza sent a message, "Lucas. I wish we could just be in the same room. I wish distance didn't exist." Lucas stared at the screen, his chest tightening. "I know. I think about that every single day. I want nothing more than to be with you. But I can't afford the flights, and I can't ask my family to help, they have their own struggles." They fell into a silence, both mourning the impossibility of their love. Yet, they refused to let go. Every day, they found small ways to feel close. Lucas sent her pictures of the city streets he walked alone, Eliza recorded little videos of her favorite corners in London. They imagined meeting in quiet cafes, walking together under autumn leaves, and sharing moments that could never happen. In their hearts, they were together, yet the world kept them apart. Lucas began to notice the toll the longing took on him. Nights of insomnia, endless wandering through Chicago streets, and the ache of knowing that even if he saved every penny, visiting Eliza would still be out of reach. And still, he loved her, completely, hopelessly, eternally. Eliza, too, felt the sting of reality, but she cherished the love that had grown despite oceans and time zones. They were bound by a connection that defied distance, yet haunted by the cruel truth that sometimes love alone is not enough. As months turned into years, the ache of distance grew heavier. Lucas and Eliza had become each other's lifelines, yet every message, every call, was a reminder of the impossibility of their dreams. They had built a world together through words, but reality remained relentless. Eliza's family began encouraging her to consider marriage. "It's time to think about stability," they said gently, unaware of the storm in her heart. She loved Lucas, but she also knew that defying her family could bring shame and hardship. Her love for him became a private sorrow, a treasure she carried silently. Lucas, meanwhile, struggled with the weight of his limitations. Despite his talent and determination, he could not escape the boundaries imposed by his modest means. He imagined telling Eliza to wait, to be patient, but every passing day made the distance feel insurmountable. One night, after a long, rain-soaked walk through the empty streets of Chicago, Lucas whispered into his phone during a video call, "Eliza, maybe our love is meant to exist only like this. Not in reality, but in our hearts. Maybe this is all we're allowed." Eliza, her eyes glistening, nodded silently. I know, and yet, even like this, it's everything. I wouldn't trade these moments for the world, even if we can't be together. In that quiet, shared understanding, they clung to each other across the ocean. Their love was impossible, constrained by circumstance and society, yet it endured, unseen, unfulfilled, but undeniable. Years passed, and life moved forward in its relentless way, but Lucas and Eliza remained tethered to each other in heart and memory. Eliza married a man chosen by her family, a kind and dependable man, yet one who could never replace the depth of feeling she had for Lucas. She fulfilled her duties gracefully, but in the quiet moments of the night, she would close her eyes and see Lucas's face, hear his voice, and feel the warmth of his hand she would never hold. Lucas continued his life in Chicago, achieving small successes, yet a hollow ache lingered in every triumph. Friends noticed his melancholy, the way he avoided close relationships, the way his laughter never quite reached his eyes. Every success felt empty without the person who had captured his heart long ago. Sometimes, they would exchange brief messages, cautious and restrained. Polite words replaced confessions, yet each note carried the unspoken longing that had defined their love. Their hearts were bound, but the world had decreed they remain apart. One evening, Lucas walked along the riverwalk, rain misting his face, and whispered to himself, "Even if we can never meet again, loving her has made my life richer than I could ever explain." Across the ocean, Eliza did the same, gazing at London's skyline, imagining him nearby. They realized that some loves are never meant to be fulfilled, they exist in memory, in longing, and in the quiet ache that shapes the soul forever. Time moved on, but neither Lucas nor Eliza could forget the love that had defined their lives. Lucas remained in Chicago, never marrying, carrying her memory like a sacred flame that neither time nor distance could extinguish. Every achievement, every encounter, was colored by the echo of her presence in his heart. Eliza fulfilled her responsibilities in London, yet her thoughts often drifted to Lucas, the boy who had shown her a love so deep it could survive oceans and years. In quiet moments, she remembered the stolen conversations, the laughter, the imagined walks together, and the warmth of a connection that the world had denied them. Though they never met again, their souls remained intertwined. Love had touched them in a way that possession never could, leaving an indelible mark on their hearts. It was a love that existed beyond reality, beyond time, and beyond the reach of circumstance. Some loves are never meant to be lived, they are meant to endure in memory, to teach the heart the depth of longing, and to burn quietly, eternally, in the silence of what could have been.